Is the classic car market crashing or not? Is it really going down? Welcome at CG-Carworks, and we specialize on preserving collector cars. Like this one, this is a beautiful Mercedes 220D, but today we don't really cover this car because we have a little bit of a different subject and different video as you would normally use from us. Because we had many questions from you guys. Is the classic car market crashing or not? Is it really going down? Well, that question we are going to answer today, since many cars, the prices really go up in value and really sell for a lot less than they were worth a few years ago. So we are going to explain you today what's really going on in the collector car and classic car market. That maybe are two separate things, but we're going to cover that later on, so stay tuned. So car auctions, they give us a bit of a global idea where the prices are heading to. So we quite often look at these auctions, what they do. And in the beginning of the year, we saw many cars that did not sell. They did not meet the reserve. And some cars they did sell, but those numbers, they were not really amazing. So the main reason why these cars did not sold on auction in the beginning of the year was mainly the tariffs, the import taxes that Trump was going to put on the US. And since many of these cars are very expensive cars and sold all over the world, this was quite an important fact for those buyers. So they waited until they know what really was going to happen. And now you see a big change in the latest auction. Everyone has a clear view of the future and knows what's going to happen. So that was a very big one why many cars did not sold. And obviously that was for the very expensive cars, very important, but that really going through to the cheaper cars as well. That was one reason why the beginning of the year was very, very slow. And the last auction that was in Monterey Car Week, is actually one of the biggest car events in the whole world. And you see all the big auction of cars there, and it was in August, and you saw many cars auctioned off, and there we're going to see what's really now going on in the market.
I am born in 1990, and you see that most buyers like the cars from the years that they were growing up. So in my case it would be cars from the 90s and 2000 as well, and that you also see back in the market and auction prices as well. Most people of my age are now buying the cars, and those cars now tend to go up in value the most, and they also sold the most. So the buyers today like usable cars from the 90s and 2000s, so it has to be very usable, and it's also important for them to have limited amounts of cars, so special color schemes, special editions, where only a limited amount of cars from exist. And today, quality of the cars also very important. Shitty cars don't really sell. Good quality cars tend to sell much better, because it was a little bit different back in a few years ago. We come back later on that topic as well. For now, you see people like me buying all these cars, spending a lot of money, buying what they like, and not only for investment.
So the market completely changed after the financial crisis, so 2008 and onwards. You see a big change up there because people could not make money anymore with all their kinds of investment, whatever it was. I'm gonna put you down for a minute now, because everyone went for the classic car market to make money, and you could make a lot of money because everything went up in value. Even the worst of the worst cars were going up. But today, that's not the case anymore. So luckily now, all these cars that tend not to be that good, they don't really sell anymore for these crazy numbers. And it also means that you see these speculators disappear. And this is not something from this year or from last year. This is happening slowly over the years, and now making a lot healthier market, in my opinion. Now people buy a car because they really are passionate about it, and they really love the car. And that's, in my opinion, very good for us as well as detailers, because we want to make the car as good as we can. And sometimes it also costs some money. And you saw in the past that when people were spending €1,000 more than the car was maybe worth, they were freaking out. But the same guys, they also bought a brand new S-Class and losing 100k on a new car, but that was completely normal. So then you have to realize what's really your hobby. But nowadays, people don't really care about it anymore. They're really passionate passionate about the car and they want to make it look as nice as possible. And that's good for us. And honestly, at the end of the day, nobody really loses any money because they tend to go up in value anyway if you have a good car. So yeah, I don't see any problem anymore in it. The speculators now, they purely want to make some short-term money. They're gone. They do not really exist anymore, luckily. You had back in the day really companies that were buying cars for people purely for investment. So you could give some money to them and they were buying cars, and these owners of these cars never even touched, drove, or even saw the car. It was just purely for investment, and these people are now luckily gone. So that's a good thing in my opinion. Now we have a much healthier market, so very important to notice, and that's not something that happened this year. That's happening over the years now. Slowly and slowly you see that coming back, and you see is going back how it was used to be back in the day for people that were owning classic cars purely because they loved them. That's really coming back, and I see that coming. I'm very happy about that. And then we're going back to the cars that I like, so the cars from the 90s and the 2000s, and then we see the headlines: the classic car market is going down. And what's happening is actually that people from the 50s and 60s, they were buying the same cars from their youth. They really liked growing up these cars from the 50s and the 60s, just as I do with the cars from the 90s. But those people that are growing up in the 50s and 60s, they don't really buy cars as much anymore. And that you see back in the auctions and the prices as well. It's the exact thing happening now with these 50s and 60s cars, because people from these years, they don't buy as much cars anymore. And you see then the prices dropping or not selling or just staying consistent at least. So that's actually the same with these old generation people. They just buy what they like. And that's what you now see in the market back. The 50s, the 60s cars going down because those buyers do not buy cars anymore. You also saw that with these cars from the 30s and the 40s. I mean, people that bought these cars, they probably don't live anymore, or at least are very, very old. And they also do not buy the cars anymore. That's the exact thing happening over and over again. People like the cars they were growing up in, at least the most part. And obviously there are very unicorn cars that will always stay relevant. Whatever year it is, there are always a few cars that always stay popular. But in the biggest part, I mean, the people that were buying back in the day, these 50s and 60s cars, they were then very valuable and going up as well. They were not buying cars from the 30s where they need 9 hands to operate a car. They also wanted to have a usable car, and that was for them the 50s and 60s car. So exact thing happening now again, and that's actually all to it. So sometimes it's also good to look deeper inside a car. Why is selling for a lot of money or for a lot less money? Sometimes the car is just very bad and therefore not selling. And sometimes, for now, the last auction we saw a Ferrari SP3 selling for 26 million euros or dollar, I believe. That's really, really a lot, because normally prices range between 4 and 6 million euros. And 26 million is way, way above. But really looking deeper inside why that happened is because Ferrari attached a foundation to it for a good cause. So people were giving money basically to the foundation and not really to the cause.
Ferrari has donated this one-of-a-kind, tailor-made Daytona SP3.
As a Ferrari, we are very proud to be here with you tonight and to donate this incredible Daytona SP3 for a good cause. In fact, as you said, all proceeding will be donated to the Ferrari Foundation, a 501c3 public charity for future educational projects.
And ladies and gentlemen, here between RM Sotheby's and our great friends at Ferrari, $26 million. For the third and final time, the car is sold!
So the car's not worth 26 million. This is just for the foundation. That is a good thing, absolutely good thing. But it's not making an SP3 now worth 26 million euros. So the prices, I saw them staying the same. People actually understood. But what you always see happening quite often, when a car sells for a record price, people that have them online suddenly raise all the prices. And that's a good thing. I would do that as well. But what you also see happening is that people that own the same car, for example, that happened with the 997 GT3 and GT3 RS and 906 GT3 RS, I saw that happening as well. One time it was selling for a very high auction price and everyone was changing their prices, and everybody who was owning a car but actually was not selling it also decided, well, let's make some money, and also were going to sell the cars. And then you had more supply as demand, and then you saw the prices crashing again. So that happens quite a lot as well. So therefore, it is safer for a very, very limited car that's going very high price. Then you do not really have the chance of that happening, because I mean, a GT3 RS is rare, but not that rare. There are quite a lot of these cars around, and if everyone decides to sell the car, then a lot of cars come for sale, and then there is just more supply as demand. Just normal business, actually, and that you see happening quite often as well. And then the big question comes, and that is, what would you buy? Well, I would buy something like this. This is my absolute favorite car, and it will be definitely part of my collection in the future. A Porsche 964. This is absolute my favorite. I really love a car like this. It is just easy to drive, it's good to drive, it's fast, not crazy fast, but modern enough. I really like the looks. This is just my favorite, and obviously also maybe a newer model as well, like a 907 GT3 or GT2, but this is my first favorite car I would buy. And also, back in the day when I was young, the typical classic car where I was interested in was the cars from the 70s. So I really enjoy an old Volkswagen Beetle as well. And I'm also looking for a old Mercedes Heckflosser, because my grandfather had one and he was really passionate about that, and I now actually want one too. So the 70 car, for me, a real classic car, and this one, my youth, I really love this, and this is my favorite. Going back to classic cars, you just heard me beginning say we are the collector car specialist, and a collector car is actually a bigger name, because a classic car is for most people a car from the 60s, from the 70s, 80s. That's maybe already a border for most people to call it a classic car. So therefore we call it a collector car, because that SP3 Ferrari is just a few years old and not really anything to do with any classic. So therefore we are really upward in the space of collector cars. So back to our company CG-Carworks, we specialize in preserving collector cars. But we noticed one thing happening, and we see that most people come to us just bought a car, or they want to sell the car. And the people want to sell the car, they just want to spend as little money as possible. Just want a quick wash and vacuum clean, and then it's done. And there's people that are just bought a car, they want it just as perfect as possible. When they're going to buy a car, that's very uncertain how much it's going to cost. How will a car look like when it is really perfect? So a lot of uncertainties for a buyer. And we personally really think that it should be other way around. There's a complete for your head, because I completely understand when you want to sell your car, you don't want to spend any money on it because you're going to sell it anyway, but you want to make the buyer it as easy as possible, and you don't want any uncertainties for them, how it's going to look like it is finished, how much is going to cost it for me to make the car perfect. So therefore we think it is very valuable when you're going to sell your car to prep it the most perfect way and present it also the most perfect way, and also figuring out the story behind the car. Every car has some history and a very cool story to it, so that's very important to tell when you sell your car. So we decided to help you guys sell your car. I think we made now a very cool service, what I believe you need when you're going to sell your car. So first, we're going to completely help you completely detail your car, from the underbody to the interior, engine bay, whatever. But we're also going to completely film that complete process, and also before, because we don't want to hide any, for example, oil leaks or whatever. We're going to make first footage of how the car was, and then after, and maybe also a part of the process as well. A very clear communication to your buyer. That's very important these days, especially if you want to sell your car somewhere online. That's a very important fact. So making a video about everything, and also making a video about this noise and about driving, and a very emotional connection of your car that really people really want to buy your car. So these types of videos we can also make for you, and also a very professional photo shoot with all the details to capture the complete car. And then it is basically whether to sell. And obviously what I just said, we have to find out all the documents and find out the history and tell a story about the car. That's very important as well. And then we're going to help you sell your car. And no, we are not going to put your car on eBay or whatever. We are first going to try to sell your car in our network. We have a lot of collectors, and we're going to see if we maybe can find somebody off market that wants to buy your car. So that's I think very important for us. We can definitely help you with that. And if that doesn't work out, you or we have to look at a bigger audience. So you probably come or putting the car really on an ad online, then we can give you all the footage, all the videos, all the photos, all the text, all what we all prepared for you and put it online. Or you're gonna put the car on auction, and we can help you with that as well. An online auction or traditional auction, and then we definitely use that footage and all the videos and pictures and clear communication to get the most value out of your car. So a small recap
with detailing your car, capturing that whole process of detailing the car, get a very clear communication to your future buyer. So we make a video of the whole process. We make a review video about also maybe the things that are not so good about your car. We make a very emotional video to show the noise, the beauty of your car, to really capture that emotion of that car, but also we're going to tell a story about the car, because storytelling is there very important, because you cannot make a story up. I mean, we can fix a car, but we cannot just figuring out a story, because every car has a very cool story to it. It's only see how we're going to tell it. So that's a very important fact. And this video we can also make in short, so very short form content for your TikTok and Instagram to promote your sale. And if you have done that, we can help you sell your car in our network, so off-market sale or an auction sale. And if you want to put ad online, that's possible too. We do not do that, but we can supply you with all the footage, all the text, everything you need to sell your car yourself. Because these days you need more than just a picture of your car and a little text, and then just put it on eBay, or in our case Marktplaats or Autoscout or whatever. We can supply you with all that stuff you really need to capture the most value out of your car and really create happy buyers, and maybe also stay connected with your buyers as well, because it's really cool to know what's happening all these years. So thank you for watching, and if you now know somebody who wants to sell his car, or do you want to sell your car, so let us know. Send us an email, DM, WhatsApp, whatever. Let us know and we can help you sell your car. Thank you for watching this video. Let us know what you think of it. Please like and subscribe, and I see you next week. Thank you very much.